Welcome to Free Discourse Radio. My name is Frank Davey. For this video, what I want to do is go over a video that the Young Turks have recently put out about Sean Hannity. It's titled Sean Hannity Goes Off the Deep End, and what we have here is Hassan Piker, who's one of the newer guys at the Young Turks, progressive as hell, and he is going to go and explain why he thinks Sean Hannity was wrong to talk about Seth Rich on his program and bring on King.com. Here we go.
One of the most indecent things I've seen in the media, and there's a lot of it, is the resurgence of the fake news story involving the murder of 27-year-old DNC staffer Seth Rich.
Already, he's calling it fake news, yet we don't know who murdered Seth Rich. The investigation is not concluded. They're still investigating it, the Washington police. So I don't know why he's already basing this on fake news or who. I don't know. We're going to continue.
So today, we're going to be talking about an asshole who won't let that story go away, to the victim's family's dismay. Sean Hannity, and how he personally pushed a fake news story surrounding Rich's murder on national television.
He didn't push a story. He inquired to Kim.com to provide proof and evidence before putting him on, so it sounds like to me that he tried to do a little bit of due diligence before going into this. No one else wants to talk about this. Sean Hannity was the only one who had the balls to do so.
Last week.
Now, following Rich's death, there was suspicion that he may have been the source of the DNC emails that were leaked to WikiLeaks. Now, not the Russians, as the left claims.
But first...
Nobody can see the video because I'm on radio here, but they were like slowly moving into Sean Hannity's face until it got really awkwardly close. I don't know, maybe they're trying to suggest it was something shameful that he said or something, but it was just really funny to see that.
Let's talk about what happened.
Seth Rich was shot and killed near his Washington, D.C. group house last July while working on a voter turnout project for the Democratic National Committee. 12 days later, WikiLeaks published embarrassing DNC emails. And 2 weeks after that, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange offered a reward for information about Rich.
What they failed to mention here in the NBC Nightly News report is that the day after the emails were released, they started talking about the Russia allegations. The day after. If you go to a new website that people have put together, I don't remember the URL, I'll put it in the description later, but it's just a whole website detailing what people are thinking about why he was murdered and whatever evidence is out there for it. And one of the parts of it, there's a timeline, and it just kind of lays out how all this, all the events about the Russia narrative and about Seth Rich and all those things combined. They just laid it out in a timeline, and it shows that the DNC leaks that came, the 44,000 emails that were released by WikiLeaks in late July. The very next day, they start talking about the Russia narrative. So I'm not trying to say that there's definitely a conspiracy or anything, but to me that's very suspicious.
Rich's death.
And look, Julian Assange is also kind of a dick here, but here are some facts.
Kind of a dick? What? This is funny because they loved him when when he released emails on Hillary Clinton, but when things become a little too inconvenient for them now all of a sudden Julian Assange is an asshole.
Washington, D.C. police say they found absolutely no evidence, having looked at Rich's computers, that he was ever in touch with WikiLeaks. His death, they say, appears to be the result of a botched robbery.
So the case is basically closed as of September last year.
No. The case isn't closed. They haven't found the murderer yet. You can't close a case until you found the murderer, so it's a cold case at the moment. But, here we go, we're going to continue.
So now, why? Because Sean Hannity decided to bring this conspiracy theory up after it seemingly went away for good. But why? Why would he do that?
That could completely shatter the narrative that, in fact, WikiLeaks was working with the Russians, or there was collusion between the Trump campaign and the Russians.
According to Hannity, it was a search for the truth. Or maybe it was a desperate attempt to distract attention away from all of the evidence emerging every goddamn day on the Russia-Trump connection.
Really? Evidence? What evidence? What proof has been put out there that the Russians are involved with hacking the DNC and screwing Hillary Clinton? He says there's emerging evidence every day. What? 17 unnamed intelligence agencies coming out and saying that they are moderately confident that the Russians were involved in the case. They don't even say what the Russians did. Like, so that remains unclear to us. Like, did they hack, or did they just simply run a propaganda campaign with trolls?
The lengths that Sean Hannity will go to suck Donald Trump's toes is alarming and sad.
What the hell does this have to do with Donald Trump? Why are we bringing Donald Trump again into everything? Like, Hannity was inquiring to Kim.com about what he knows.
Once there was backlash from the family and a cease and desist order was issued, Hannity tried to hide his disgusting attempts at partisan cuckery in the face of overwhelming...
Oh, God. The word cuck being thrown around by liberals right now is just unbelievable to hear. But besides that, I don't see how Hannity's trying to make up for whatever, I don't know, or if he's trying to get ahead somehow. I don't see how he could benefit from being wrong about this. It sounds like to me he's just concerned with getting to the truth. And trust me, I'm not trying to defend Sean Hannity too much here. I don't agree with him usually on things, but for this situation, he's the only one who had the balls to do it, to ask Kim.com for evidence.
Facts.
My heart and soul goes out to this rich family, and I'm sorry, but I also know I would probably myself never recover as a father, and I also know that I want the truth as a father.
Oh, your heart and soul goes out to the rich family, Sean. Is that why you shamelessly used their son's death to advance your unethical political agenda? And
oh, that's a little bit far-fetched. I don't know if we know that's for sure. You know, like why again? Why like how would this like if this comes out not to be true? How does this benefit Hannity?
were forced to stop after they came out and asked publicly for you and everyone else to stop. And to make the story even better, after being exposed for going full Glenn Beck on national television,
never go full Glenn Beck,
Sean started tweeting out further insanities like a madman in a tinfoil hat. He even went to the deep end, blaming shadow leftist billionaire George Soros, who, according to conservative conspiracy theorists on the internet, single-handedly finances every progressive blog / news.
Well, he did donate, to I don't know, maybe NGO ships or something like that. But he did contribute $500 million to the refugee crisis in Europe, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of that money went to the boats and to the European ships that go and pick up the migrants off of the coast of Libya and bring them back to Italy. I'm pretty sure Soros actually is funding some of those things. Now, I'm not trying to say that's some big conspiracy theory again, but it's something to be paying attention to for certain, because he has a lot of money and he's a powerful figure. Just common sense.
Source that they disagree with, including ours.
And the Soros flying monkeys who have the bots out spewing hate, spewing dissension, spewing revolution against the American government and the U.S. Constitution.
Seriously though, George, if you're out there, I'm totally open to funds. I mean, DM me, let's discuss it. Now the irony here is that there are real shadowy wealthy figures involved in the story, except it's not George Soros. It's the Mercer family and Ed Butowski. Ed Butowski, who personally financed the private investigator who looked into the Seth Rich murder. Ed Butowski, who is a friend of both Bob Mercer, computer scientist and owner of one of the most successful hedge funds, and Steve Bannon, racist founder of Breitbart and Human Skin Tag.
Okay, well, besides those offhand comments about Steve Bannon, the private investigator hired by the family, didn't he actually find something that was worth looking into? I know he retracted later, but that could have been because of pressure. We don't know what's going on over there. I think it's, especially when you're throwing people like Steve Bannon and whoever that other guy was under the bus, we don't know what the full story is yet.
And Fox News did eventually issue a statement and retracted their original article after the advertisers pulled a Bill O'Reilly and started backing out from Hannity's show. And now
You see, that should be a red flag. If you're really looking at this from an objective view, that should be a red flag that there's extreme amount of pressure and that he's getting basically ousted for even just inquiring about Kim.com.
Hannity's going on an impromptu trip. Sound familiar? It's almost identical to what happened to Bill O'Reilly a couple months ago, but I'm not even going to talk about how irresponsible Fox News is and how little regard they have for accountability and ethical journalism and only react once advertisers threaten their bottom line.
We might be able to say that about all mainstream media, so I'm not going to defend that, but again, Hannity had the balls to look into something that everyone else wants to shut up about.
Because the implications of this story are terrifying. Right-wing media was established with the express purpose of moving the national discourse to the right and amplifying conservative messaging. Unfortunately,
national discourse to the right? What is he talking about? The media is overwhelmingly leftist right now. There's so much. Maybe there's more people dissenting from the left now and going to retreating to bastions like American conservatism for reasons of wanting to keep free speech alive. in the country, but that's a load of crap that the discourse is shifting to the right. We're still outnumbered.
Fortunately, they succeeded by ruining U.S. politics for good. But the promotion of this farce is uniquely terrifying for two reasons. Fox News is devoid of any moral boundary that would prevent them from willingly disseminating misinformation. While this isn't exactly new because, they pushed that Obama was a Kenyan ISIS founder concept for years, but with Republicans controlling 3 branches of the government, right-wing media has lost all of its bearings and have gone off the deep end. They're basically a victim of their...
Again, he says right-wing media. What right-wing media? Like, the only right-wing media on cable news is Fox News. Just say Fox News. Don't say the right-wing media, where there's no right-wing media on cable TV.
Own success. You put these assholes in power. And while Fox News has been unofficially acting as a propaganda apparatus for the Republican Party since...
like the Young Turks is for the progressives, and CNN for the neoliberals. Should I say any more?
I don't know, the Clinton years. Now they're forced to defend the indefensible. They've lost their collective minds and the remaining shred of grounding they could have had in objective reality. Sean Hannity went full Glenn Beck, and everybody knows you never go full Glenn Beck. I'm Hassan Piker. Don't forget to...
Okay. Well, in conclusion here for this video, I certainly don't want to defend the MSM mainstream media because usually I'm pretty... not satisfied with the way they go about their, they go about their, their discussions and everything like that. It's not comprehensive enough. It doesn't go into detail. Even places like even channels like the Young Turks these days, they just beat around the bush on every issue and throw, he's a racist and he's a misogynist at you. They did that for Trump. There was no sort of discourse that was not from the left coming out that was even that. And I say the far left, meaning not because I'm pretty liberal, so, but I'm more, I'm probably closer to conservative than I am to progressive these days, certainly. But people, there's no right wing media, there's no far right pundits going on, and Fox News is the only place that somewhat leans to the right and supports the Republican Party, but. The bottom line is that they all do the same thing. MSM, CNN, MSNBC, these days are all pretty much shills. And I think it's a pretty crazy, it's pretty crazy that Hassan Piker doesn't choose to ever criticize the other media places like they do with conservatives and Sean Hannity, who they just pretty much see as the other. Even when they are criticizing other mainstream media outlets, they're still it's almost like they can relate to the CNNs and the MSNBCs more than they can relate to the Fox News, who they see as the other. Discourse is, I don't think it's shifting right. I think it's shifting into insanity more so, and less factually based and more about emotion and feelings people's our future depends on us being able to talk about problems, whether it's the migrant crisis or the economy or any of those things. I just don't think that it's, making stupid offhand comments about Steve Bannon and, even though if you're trying to be funny and stuff, it's just, tell the truth. That's all here. That was Free Discourse Radio, and thanks for tuning in.